Hello again. This is the week 4 overview. So let's get started. Hope everyone is doing well, having a good summer. First thing you'll see, there are two additional items. We are finishing the personal narrative section of the course. This will be going away in your calendar. Of course, there is 1 day a late turn-in window, but that does not show up here. But you'll notice that the Flash rhetorical analysis, which is a discussion post on a TED Talk video, and then your rhetorical analysis video selection is due next Monday, 23rd. So you have two items due Monday. And then let's look at the content for this week. So week 4, start with your checklist. You can look at this later. You'll get in the habit of looking at this. I highly recommend that you look at this every week because it's just nice to know, okay, what do I need to do? Week 4, look at the week 4 lessons, which is the online module. Review the guidelines, rubric, structure, and media bank documents for the rhetorical analysis, which is the second major assignment, and review the video overview. The video overview is, I think, really helpful because it just kind of explains those documents a little better than if you were just to read those, on your own. And I'm doing, again, I'm trying to replicate what I would do in class. I would take 10, 15 minutes in class to review these documents, so I'm doing a video for you, which is equivalent to that. And then you need to select a video from the media bank and then submit the discussion post. Those are the items you see in the on the calendar on the home page. So first here in the content for this week, the learning module. Short video and ethos, pathos, and logos, less than 5 minutes, but a good introduction into that. And then this is from Texas A&M University, and it's an online resource and textbook. I like this because it's really laid out well, and you can read this in like 15 minutes, probably 15 or 20. And then at the end there are these quizzes, these practice activities. So to say someone lacks credentials is to speak on a topic is to appeal to, which one would that be? Well, that would be ethos. And you can check, actually, I need to go back. Check your answer. Yay, I got it correct. And then you can go through and look at these, and you would need to read the material before taking this quiz. But which of the following is not a rational mode of thinking used in logos? Well, it would be this one here because that is pathos, being sentimental. So anyway, you get the point of these. Looks like there's 6 of these questions. So really good overview and a deeper dive into that. And then this is another textbook that just again, there'll be some overlap, but just another way of looking at rhetoric and describing the different facets of rhetoric. And then we have some textbook material, certain chapters. So the bold is where we are, breaking the whole into its parts. So rhetorical strategies. And we're not looking at Kairos for our paper, although Kairos is in this. You can read that and learn about it, and I encourage you to, but you're not writing about Kairos in your paper, okay? That is not one of the 3 rhetorical appeals that we are focusing on. The 3 rhetorical strategies or appeals that are considered the highest level are ethos, pathos, and logos, so focus on those 3. And then different rhetorical strategies here, and these will help you with your paper. This is looking at digital media here, that just photos here, and how you can analyze something as simple as a picture of M&Ms or an very old print ad from the government about Smokey the Bear and being safe as far as avoiding fires in forest. And then some other old ads here, but the point is, like, even something as simple as this ad here from Smokey the Bear from 1960 can be analyzed from a rhetorical standpoint. Now, lucky for you, I've chosen modern, videos that have a lot more to them. Digital media, that is video, particularly what I'm using for your paper, there's much more to it to analyze. So that's why I look at only for your paper. We're only looking at videos, but that will help you. And then this is an overview of the rhetorical analysis in very broad terms from the Writing Center of certain components of a rhetorical analysis assignment. Again, you can learn about Kairos, but just ignore that as far as your assignment. You're looking at only the big three: ethos, pathos, and logos. I like how this document gives you an example of a thesis statement. I will have a lesson on that next week, the process for writing a strong thesis statement for rhetorical analysis. But this gives you examples for that as well. So look at this. It's very in depth on the thesis. So the Writing Center has great handouts. This is one of those. And also use the Writing Center. I posted that video last week. I highly encourage you to take advantage of the Writing Center. You paid for that with your student fees and tuition, so you need to use it. All right. So that is one part of the module, and then this is a PowerPoint that's in PDF form, and I will not spend time on this, but that's what this is. I have a video. You can look at it in static form, or you can do both. You can look at the video version of this. This is me. This is me talking through the slide, and there are closed captions, so those are set up for you if you want that. But again, this is just the video of the PDF that's above it. What is rhetoric lesson? And then there's another very simple activity you can do looking at your personal narrative. You can even look at that from a rhetorical standpoint. You can do that at home if you'd like. And then again, there's a lot of overlap. I get that, but you have to understand we've shrunk a semester into 8 weeks. And so I'm doing with this week's lesson what I would do in 2 full weeks in a regular semester. So if it seems like a lot, or if it seems like there's a lot of overlap, this is what I would do in class for 2 weeks. So it just seems like a lot because it's only 1 week. So, and it's all online, so it's a lot. But anyway, I've broken it up into small chunks, which I think it'll help you. So those are the lessons for this week. And that concludes this week's overview. If you have any questions, please email me. I will respond timely. And take care.